Can you see, can somebody let me know if you can see my screen, my family tree screen?
Yes.
Is that what's being shown? Perfect.
Yes.
Okay. So last week when I was sharing, I was talking about record hints. And I'll share an example here from one of my ancestors. On the right-hand side in the gray area near to the top, it says research help. And underneath is a record hint. I know it's a record hint because it's a little blue icon. I want to show you two other places where you can find record hints, because going through each and every person on your family tree is not reasonable or realistic. So another way to find a record hint is to go to the home page, the first page you see when you sign in. Now, in order to get there quickly, if you're already in the program on another page, is to go to the top left corner to the FamilySearch icon and select it. So this is the home page. And while we're on the home page, I'll share with you what's available on it. But to show you, on the right-hand side, there's a section called recommended tasks. And underneath it, I have a list of people with record hints showing. And I can load more individuals. And there they are. This page also lets me know who of my ancestors is available for temple ordinances. And if I wish to see them all together, I would select all. But if I'm coming into my family history and I want to do some details within it, and I'm not quite sure where I want to go, one good place to start is by attaching record hints. So all of these ancestors are available for record hints. One other place that record hints are available is on your family tree. So here's my family tree. And you may have noticed this one of the first times that, I don't want to be so big, one of the first times I showed it, that there are colored icons showing on the individual's little profiles. My family tree is not behaving here. There I go. And as I expand, if there was a record hint, this is not a record hint, but I'm just showing you an icon here. Up on the top right-hand corner is options. And if I select those, I can see what will be shown because it's checked off. Record hints are light blue. So these are the parents. You don't see the kids listed, but you see the parents. So that's another way to see record hints. Going back to the home page, I want to show you what else is available on the home page. So Roots Tech is coming up. I've been announcing that at the end of each of my presentations. And if you have not got your virtual passes yet, you can click right here and sign up. Any memories that have been added to any of my ancestors will show here down the left-hand side. So this is a tombstone photo that's been added. Another tombstone photo. This is a record that has my ancestor's name in it. I have yet to read it, so I'm not quite sure what it's about. But the point being that memories, these are known as memories. We will talk in great detail about memories next week. These are memories that have been recently added to individuals in my family tree, and they show up on my homepage. Something else that's on the homepage are individuals that I have recently worked on. And so if I come into my family search program and I say to myself, I want to see who I was working on last, or I can't remember who I was working on last, just go here to recent people and you can see quickly who you were working on last and you can load more. There is also a to-do list, which I will tell you I have never used. I actually like to keep my notes in a Word document. I can add lots of detail about them. I can highlight things that are really important that I need to see quickly. I can rearrange the order of them and put the things that I feel that I need to do first at the top. So I have a Word document that's about 5 pages long. I have lots of information on it, things I need to go back and look at. And that's how I keep my notes for family history. All right, so moving on, I wanted to also say that last week I talked extensively about selecting the location and the date from the choices that are given you when you type them in. So as an example, if I was to go into edit here, you see the date and the location are both correct. One has a calendar beside it, the other has a map pin. One of the reasons I like to, there's a couple of reasons why I like to select what's given me as an option. One of the reasons is so that the FamilySearch program can understand the information that I've entered. And once that is done, then it can constantly compare what I have in my person page to information that's found in digitized records. And then hopefully I will get a record hint. Secondly, I showed you a timeline last week and the map that's available. If I don't have the place located or entered in a way that the program understands it, it won't be able to show me where my ancestor lived on the map. So those are 2 reasons why I like to select what's available. Okay, today we're going to talk about sources. And I've already pre-selected this particular ancestor, Sarah Ann Smith. And I want to share with you how to research records within FamilySearch and also within Ancestry. So the first thing for researching within FamilySearch or any of the others that are listed here is to actually select it. It will actually open in a new tab, so you never have to worry about losing your person page for who you're working on. So here I have a new screen opening for Sarah Ann Smith. Before I get into details about her, I actually want to share with you what each of these websites has to offer. So FamilySearch is owned and operated by the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. It's has the world's largest family tree and genealogy archive. And we have access to billions of records for free. Ancestry. Let me move to Ancestry, show you what it looks like and tell you about it. So Ancestry is the largest for-profit genealogy company in the world. It operates a network of genealogical, historical records, and related genetic genealogy websites. So for those of us who have European ancestry, I find this website very valuable. The next website that we have access to for free as members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints is a website called Find My Past. Find My Past is a UK-based online genealogy service. Millions of English, Scottish, and Welsh records are accessible through Find My Past, some dating as far back as 1200. Also search for Irish ancestors in the largest collection of online Irish records is available. Find My Past is the only place where you have up-to-date PERSI, P-E-R-S-I. PERSI stands for Periodical Source Index, which provides references to over 2.5 million articles. Find My Past is a website that also provides access to a number of collections from the New York Genealogical and Biographical Society, which is an organization devoted to New York family history. Going to the next site, and I'm using my bookmark tab here. I'm going to go to My Heritage. My Heritage is essentially the same as Ancestry, but only that its main user base started in Europe. Users of My Heritage can create family trees, upload and browse through photos, and search through over 12.5 billion historical records. And as of 2020, this website supported 42 different languages. GinaNet is the next one on our list. It was launched to help researchers share their data. The website is collaborative and the data is added by the members, and it's available for free to any interested people. An optional annual subscription provides additional search options and additional records. And GinaNet is the first French genealogy website and can be viewed in Dutch, English, French, German, Italian, Spanish, and Portuguese. And Fila was recently added. Fila is now the world's largest online resource for accessing French official records, so records from France. When you sign in, it may initially be in French. This is what it will look like, and the French flag will show at the top right corner. Just click on the French flag and select English. Everything on their site has been translated into English. So even though your ancestry may be French and you may think, oh my goodness, I don't speak French, this is a valuable tool because all of the records have been translated into English already. So that's a wonderful help there. So going back to Sarah Ann Smith's person page, you can see that on the right-hand side, search records, all of these websites are available to members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints for free. And for all others, you may have to subscribe to them. Talking about FamilySearch, and let me go back to my website here where I was using my bookmarks. Just wanted to share with you, I set up a genealogy folder to put all of my genealogy and family history websites into. I put FamilySearch at the top because I use it the most. The others are alphabetical. And I encourage you to do the same. I personally have the same username and password for all my family history sites. So when I do family history, I don't have to think, now what is it? I just automatically remember. And I have far more family history sites saved than what I show here. I generally work off my PC, which is on my desk, but it's my laptop I use for Zoom because it has a camera. So I decided to load some sites on here as an example, but I have far more sites available. So whatever you use for family history, save it so that you have access to it later. Okay, back to Sarah Ann Smith. I wanted to share with you some information before I start my search. So notice where she was born. It's here in Canada, Ontario even, and it's a township with an unusual name, Euphemia. And she's born in 1878. And I wish to show you her siblings, Elizabeth, Edward, John, and then she's born Sarah. So keep these things in mind as we look for some information for her. So I've selected FamilySearch on the right side and it's already open. I'm going to go there now. First thing I want to share with you is how this looks. This is your search page now within FamilySearch, the program. So you have a header box at the top, has her name and her birth year, death year if I had it, and her ID number. Then, as I move across the page, her spouse, if she is married, which she is, and her parents are on the right-hand side. Down the left-hand side are my search fields, and I'll scroll down and show you more of those as we work. Then the main portion of the screen are the results, the search results. Down the left column within search results are the names that match and or are similar to my ancestor. The center left column is events. So things that show her birth and or her death, a residency, a marriage. The third column are family relationships. The fourth column, I'll explain the icons. So the first icon is a little family tree. What this means is this particular record, these are records. So first record, second record, third record. So this first record has been attached in FamilySearch's family tree. It may not be attached to the Sarah Ann Smith who I'm trying to find information for, but somebody somewhere attached it. And if I actually select it, I can see that it's attached to a Sarah Ann Smith with a different ID number than my Sarah Ann Smith. So there are at least 2 Sarah Ann Smiths in this family tree, and this record has been attached to a different Sarah Ann Smith. The second icon indicates that there is a record to look at, a digitized record to look at. And the third icon means that there is a photograph of the original document. I wish to highlight that right now, there are over 15,844 results. Now, we use our search fields on the left-hand side to narrow down our search. Now, what I want to look for is a census record. So I'm being quite specific. And I want to show also some of the little details here that are available. So her birth year range, up here it says she's born in 1879. Her birth year automatically fills in 1877 to 1881. It always gives 2 years down and 2 years up. The reason being that, for example, I'll give you an example. When census records were taken anciently, and this can still happen today, whoever answered the door when the census taker came and that person gave the information, it was only as good as their memory. So if they're like, yeah, my sister Sarah, yeah, she's 17. And then later on, he's like, oh, you're 18? I thought you were 17. So automatically there's a year wrong in the census because her younger brother couldn't remember how old she was. So we always give a year or two either side. If we want to search by where she lived, there's residence field. There's a death field. We can select any information in terms of a year or a place. If I want to search with her parents, her spouse, or possibly a sibling, I would put that in here. And I can restrict my records by location, which I will do now. I'm going to put in Canada. And then I'm also going to select Ontario because I know the family lived in Ontario. I'm going to update right now and show you automatically how many results. We were at over 15,800. We're already down to 9,800. So it helped us already. I'm now going to search by the type of record. I am looking for census records only.
I'm sorry, Sister Latchman, is it possible to make the screen a little bigger?
Yep.
Just so that they can see a little clearly. Thank you.
Okay. Did that help?
Yes.
Okay. So I've selected census records. We were at 9,000, already down to 832. We were in thousands, now we're in hundreds. I'm going to put in her parents' name because for a census record, that's quite important to know who is with you in your household. So her father, his name is up here, Samuel Hall Smith. Go down to Smith. Now, if you want to look for a name exactly as it's spelled, you would check the box at the end of the field here. I actually don't recommend that because it could have been written wrong in the first place or it could have been transcribed incorrectly. So I never select that. Agnes, and Agnes's last name is not going to come up as this because she will have already been married, but I shall still write it in. And I am going to update my search now. We were at 832, now we're down to 670. And it continues like that. I'm actually going to add a sibling because I know who one of her siblings is. I will just, at the top here, select her tab and look down quickly at her siblings. Her first sister's name is Elizabeth, and she has a brother, Edward. Okay, so if I add other person here, I'm going to put in Elizabeth. And I'm going to update my search now. We were at 670, now there's only 355. Now I practiced this before tonight, and I will tell you that the more siblings I put in, the more refined my search comes, and I get fewer and fewer results. But I'm interested in finding a census for 1880s. And right away, the first one that shows up has her name. I can see under the relationships tab, Samuel Smith, and her father's name is Samuel, mother's name is Agnes, older sister, brother, and the town is correct. So I'm actually going to select this. And now I have an opportunity to review and attach this to my ancestor. So I'm actually going to review and attach. If I wish to look at the record, which is not a bad thing to do, but for sake of time, I have already looked at it. I would right click on this and open it in a new tab. But for the purpose of tonight, I'm going to review and attach this. Now, what's really nice about FamilySearch Family Tree is that you can attach at one time or one process here, everyone who's mentioned in the record. So the first person I have here is Sarah Ann Smith, and it shows that she resided in 1881 in this location. I'm going to attach it. Now, I see down here, Samuel Smith, Agnes, those are her parents, if you remember their names, and 3 siblings. But I'm looking on my right-hand side, which is my family tree. The left-hand side is the census record. I don't see their names. I'm a little confused. Don't panic. You can see here, parents from family tree, 2 of them, but they're not open yet. So if I open those, there are the parents. All I have to do is drag this up. And I drag the mothers up to match it with the mother. And now I can compare that record, add the information in terms of a residency, and attach it. The same thing is going to happen for her siblings. And I will open up the siblings. Right here, siblings from family tree. There are 10 siblings on my family tree. I will open them. Now, Elizabeth is the oldest. I will drag her up to her appropriate spot. And I will compare her, add her information, and attach. I would do the same for her brothers, but because of time, I'm going to skip to the next part of my lesson. But I just wanted to show you how easy it is to attach a record to every single person who is listed in the family tree. The process for attaching sources is very, very simple and easy to do within FamilySearch. Now I want to share with you how we can move on and search in other programs. Sorry, everyone, that's something I'm going to show later. Somehow that got started. Okay, so here we are at Sarah Ann Smith. Now I want to look for the same census in Ancestry, just to show you a comparison. So it's 1881 in Ontario, Canada. But instead of looking through FamilySearch, I'm going to look through Ancestry. So once again, on the right-hand side under Research, Search Records, I'm going to select Ancestry. A new page, a new tab automatically opens. So I still have Sarah Ann Smith person page, and now I'm in Ancestry. So what I'd like to show you about Ancestry is that I'm already signed in. Here's my name on the top right corner. If you're not signed in, if you don't see your name, then you're not going to get the same search results and be able to use the filters in the same way. So I recommend you make sure you're signed in. Some other things about Ancestry that you may not be familiar with. This 99 plus is sitting over top of a leaf, like a leaf from a tree. Those are record hints. So I have 99 record hints in Ancestry waiting for me to look at. On the left-hand side, 2 tabs over from their logo, Ancestry, is the word trees. I've actually uploaded a couple of trees. McClinchy is my family, is my maiden name, my family name, and Zaf is my great-grandmother's maiden name. And I have uploaded those 2 family trees. It's super easy to upload a tree. Right here says import tree from FamilySearch. You select that and automatically your tree will upload. What's nice about putting your tree in Ancestry is that not everyone uses FamilySearch. And there's a lot of individuals who use Ancestry. And if you can provide accurate information for them, that's great. Also, I wouldn't be receiving these record hints if my tree wasn't in there. So by having my family tree in there, I now get record hints that I can look at through Ancestry. Now, 99 sounds like a lot, but most of those sources are already attached in FamilySearch. Ancestry doesn't look backwards to FamilySearch, so it doesn't know that I already have those sources. So most of those 99 sources I already have attached in FamilySearch. Okay, looking at this screen, her name is at the top, and down the left side are the search filters. The right side are the results. If you can see the number here at the top, we have over 5 million results for a Sarah Ann Smith. And I'll let you know that if I edit search on this top box here, which is search filters, all of her information is automatically input. That's one great thing about Ancestry. All the locations, dates, relationships are already entered. I don't have to enter them again. And I still have over 5 million hits. So I'm not doing too well here, but I will say one of the best search filters you can use is collection focus. Because I know she's from Canada, I select Canada, I update my search. We're already down to 131,000, 5 million to 131,000. But I need to get that down even farther. So I'm going down to the second search filter, and I'm going to choose census records. Now I'm only at 61,000, but it's still not good enough for me. I know that I'm looking for the 1881 census, so I'm actually going to select 1881. 2000, still not good enough for me. I know that I am searching within Canada. North America is selected, but then I can narrow that down even more and select Canada. Still a lot of sources here, but one of these sources at the top is most likely her. So I'm just showing you how to use the filters and what it will look like, how it looks different than FamilySearch's sources, searching for sources, but it's there and it's available. Now, I do want to tell you that because she is born in 1879, unless you select this box and say that you want to add a year or two up or down, you might miss a census record for the reason that I shared with you. So I'm going to update this with the 1 or 2 up or down. And now we're only at 400 records. And she's going to be right here, that interesting named township. She's right here. So be mindful of with Ancestry, you do have to select that box and choose if you want a year or 2 added on. Otherwise, it's going to be exact to that year, which may be a disadvantage to you. Okay, I'm going to move to another ancestor, and I'm going to show you how useful the record can be, our record can be in finding not only a birth date or a name, but other information. So I'm going to, my mouse is a little stuck here. I've already researched this ancestor ahead of time. So I'm just going to put his ID number in here. Excuse me while I get his ID number. Okay, Lloyd. Something that I learned that I was showing you last week, you don't have to go all the way down to the bottom right and select person. You can actually just click on his name and it will open him up also. So this is Lloyd Zaff. And I'm going to Ancestry. And I'm going to search for him in Ancestry. Now, I just did a general search to see if I could find a document for this ancestor. Looking at his person page, I can see that he's from Saskatchewan. He's not married. He's the oldest child of William Peter Zaff and Mabel Ann Gray. So going back to Ancestry now, I'm going to see if I can find someone from Saskatchewan. If you hover over the blue link, you actually have information about your ancestor. My page might be a little too big to see all of it. Let me do this. So this is a male, he's single. And if I scroll down, I can see his father is William Zaff and his mother's Mary. So automatically, I can see I have a census record with him. But I want to go down to something different than a census record. And I'm going to select this third entry, which I've already identified as his. So I'm going to open it. Now, when I say I've identified it's his, it's because in preparation for tonight's presentation, I've already looked at it. I've already looked at his parents' names, the dates, the places, and yes, I've determined they're consistent with what I have on his person page. So it takes a little bit of time to determine that, yes, it's a match. But I'm going to tell you, yes, this one's a match. So I want to actually view the record. I'm going to right click and open it in a new tab. And don't be scared by what you see. It's quite difficult to read. But for those of us who are older and learned how to read cursive, I'll let you know this is decipherable. So what I see here is his surname Zaff, his first 2 names, Lloyd, and WM means William. accompanied by, and he writes the word alone, or the clerk writes the word alone. This is for him to get into the US. It's a manifest. Age, 18 years and 0 months. That's important. We're going to come back to that. M stands for male. And over here, there's an MSWD, married, single, widowed, or divorced. He has circled the S for single. His occupation is laborer, and he's from Battleford, Saskatchewan. Then he is Canadian, but he identifies as a German, and that's consistent with what I know about his family. Zaf is a German name. His ancestry comes from Germany. He's English, and currently he has $35 on him, the right-hand side. Sorry about that. Now, country is interesting. He did not write Canada. He wrote MAN, which is short for Manitoba, and the town is Brandon. So he's coming from Brandon, Manitoba, and he's heading for Chicago, Illinois. And what he's going to do, he's going to an electric school in Chicago. Can't quite read the first name. It looks like Europe Electric School. But what's interesting, and the part I want to share with you, is down here, he has his height listed as 6 feet 0 inches. His complexion is fair. His hair is LBRO, which stands for light brown, and his eyes are blue. His father's name is WM, which stands for William, and his father is in Brandon, Manitoba. So knowing all of this information, I'm first going to attach this source to him, and then I'm going to show you what to do with all of those gems of information that we've now identified. So I'm going to go back one page. This is where Ancestry brought me, and I'm going to copy the URL at the top. Then I go back to his person page, and his individual toolbar, 3 over, has the word sources. At the top in the center, it says add source, and I'm going to add a new source. This window then comes up, and the web page URL, I'm going to paste in what I just copied. Now I'm going back to the actual record page, and I'm going to copy the title. I like to use Control and C together for copy and Control and V together for paste. But however you do it is great. Now I need to look at the record again. And at the top of the record, it has September 1928. So as I go back to his source page, I know that this is from 1928. I'm going to select what's given to me. Where is this record found? It was found on ancestry.ca. And now describe what's in my record. I'm actually not going to take too much time to think about a description. I'm just going to copy and paste it. Copy and paste what's already transcribed from Ancestry. And bring it back here and put it in the description. That's what's in the record. Reason attaching the source. He gave this information. I just have to learn how to type quickly while talking. He gave this information while crossing into the US. What's on the information? His name, his sex, he's male, his birth is indicated. Now, I want you to see that I'm going to add this to my source box. If I was attaching this directly from FamilySearch, this could be deselected. But because I'm manually entering a source from another website, make sure this is added. I'm going to save it now. Now, when I look down, here it is, US records right here. If I go to details now, I can see he has 4 sources. He had 3 before on the top toolbar. What I want to do with the additional information I found is add it into other information. Add information. And I am going to go down to the second portion and add physical description. Now, his physical description, I have this saved in a Word document. I'm just copying and pasting it over. Then I didn't have to type it. So here's my physical description. I have his height, his complexion, his fair hair, his light brown eyes, etc. And why am I adding this, or why is this correct? As per the source entitled, and I listed the name of the source, and I save it now. I also saw that in his record, I'll go back to the record here. In the record, under age, it says he's 18 years and 0 months. And I can see at the top, the stamp says September. So if he's 18 years and 0 months, that means he's born in September. So I go back to his person page and hit edit his birth. I only had 1910. Now I have September of 1910. So there's lots of information I'm gathering. Now, besides all the extra little facts I'm finding, which can be added, and I'm showing you about that, I want to go to what's most important, and that is his father's person page. So here's Lloyd, and his parents are listed to his right. So I'm going to right click on his father and open in a new tab. And his father is William. Now, that source not only proved that Lloyd had a father named William, it's going to prove that William has a son named Lloyd. So every name listed in a source, attach it to that person. So I go to sources and I'm going to add a new source. But instead of going through that whole process of typing everything down, I'm going to attach it from my source box. That's specifically why I told you to make sure that box was checked. Because it's the last source I attached, it's going to be at the top of this list, US records. I'm going to go to the side here and attach. Reason for attaching it. His son is mentioned. No, he is the father in this record. That's what it is. Okay, and attach it. Go back to William's page. And looking at his sources, as I go down here, it was 1928. Here it is, the US records for his son, Lloyd William Zaff. But it's now in Peter's source box. So that's how you take the time to attach a record from another website. Make sure that the tab that says place in source box is attached. Then you can go to another family member. I'll just show it again. Add source and attach it from the source box, and it will be there waiting for you. There was some other information on this record. Like I know his exact birth city is Battleford, which I don't have. I only have Saskatchewan. but due to time, I will go back and add that myself. I just wanted to show you all the little gems that are available off one little piece of paper. Okay, some may say, I have sources attached to my ancestor and they shouldn't be there. How do I undetach them? How do I get rid of them? So I'll show you. You go to the source page and say for some reason you felt that this first source, and I'm going to view it, 1911, say for some reason you felt this was not his source. Yes, Lloyd Zaff is mentioned here, but you've discovered that this is the wrong Lloyd Zaff. You simply select detach. Now I say it's simple, but I want you to be very careful when you do this. You have to have lots of research into this. You need to compare locations, compare dates, compare other family members, make darn sure that it's not the right source. And then once you hit detach source, you have to give a reason as to why you're detaching it. And I don't want you to put simply, it's the wrong person. I want you to really be meaningful in your summary here. All the reasons that made you know it's the wrong source, you need to put them in here. You need to explain in great detail in this box why you're detaching it. And then you would select detach. Now, the saving grace of FamilySearch is that nothing is ever lost. So going back to Lloyd's details person page, the latest changes on the right-hand side, if you open it here, are all listed. And if for any reason you've done something you shouldn't, you can always bring it back. These changes are here. Every single deletion, every single change is never ever gone. It's archived and you can always bring it back. Little bit of a process. You don't want to have to do it, but it's possible. All right, I want to share a couple of other things here. I'm going to another ancestor now. His name is Peter. Sometimes when you go to a person page and you go specifically to the source page, you may see, scroll down here, you may see this little box that has the word unfinished attachments. What this means is that every name mentioned in the source has not been attached. So not everybody that was mentioned has this source attached to them. So I'm going to share with you what you do. So you select unfinished attachments, and this will open up a source link page. So the left-hand side is the record. The right-hand side is your family tree information. As I look at this, I see from the title that it's a marriage record. And Peter is the father of the bride, Mary is his wife, Catherine is the daughter, which would make her the bride. As I scroll down, I can see the document has 3 other names mentioned, the groom and his parents, but they are not listed in the family, Peter Uzzle's family. They're not related to Peter, they're now related to his daughter, Catherine. So how am I going to get them attached to those people? Well, the first thing we have to do is open up Catherine's person page. So I am going to select her, right-click on her person, open in a new tab, and I open her up. Here's Catherine. I'm going to go to Catherine's sources, and I will find that same message. unfinished attachments. I'm going to open it up. And now what's available to me, once everything loads, is Catherine's family tree. And her husband, John, is listed as her spouse. So now when I see him in the record, I can easily compare him and attach him because he's listed as her spouse. So what am I adding? I'm adding their marriage. I'm going to delete the 0 and rewrite it as if I'm typing it. And then the option to select the date comes up. I'm also going to delete the S in the word states and select an option that's given to me. Their marriage year is 1870. So I need to select the bottom one because the dates, 1870, falls in that selection. Then I can attach. Now I'm still not seeing the groom's parents. Why am I not seeing them? Because this is Peter Uzzle's daughter with her husband. What do I have to do? I have to go to John's page now. Then I will see John's parents. So here I'm opening up John's page. And once again, unfinished attachments. A little bit of a process, but when you consider the dynamics of the program altogether and the fact that you didn't have to go to a registry office or go down to the state or the city in which this happened, it's amazing. So to jump about on my family tree and open up a few people's pages, now, if I go back to the original person, which was Peter, and I refresh his screen on the top left, I am not going to see for this marriage record in 1870 any unfinished attachments. They are all finished now. I'm going to show you another person here. And what I want to talk about with her is how to clean up your sources and make them all chronological order and make sure their tags are all on. So if I look at the detail page for Mary Hutton, I can see that she has 18 sources attached to her name, 16 for her sex, 11 for her birth, and so on. But on her sources tab, she has 19 sources. Every source will have her name. So that means one of these sources listed in her sources tab has not been tagged so that it goes with one of her vitals. So I go to her sources page and I view the first source. Tag is 2, so it's not that one. I view her second source. Tag is 3, it's not that one. And so on until I find the source. Oh, it's the third one down. It's the 1871 census. Well, because I've attached so many census, I know your name's in the census, your sex is in the census, and either it asks for your age or your birth year. So birth is in the census and I tag it. Now, if I look at her details page, she has 19 sources next to her name and there are 19 sources. Going back to her source page, I want to share with you that there was a source, many sources at the bottom that didn't get the year added into them. And hence they're not in chronological order. So this is 1851 Scotland census. I'm going to click on add and I add the date here, 1851, and I select it. You also have to select save. So now it's alphabetically at the top of the list. And I would do that for the rest of the census. Add 1861. select the date, and save it. Now it's chronologically in order. And I would do that for the rest of the sources. Does this make a difference in finding ancestral information? No. Does it help you when you want to look at something in the source tab and find it quickly? Yes. It's not a huge deal, but if you're one of those people that sets aside time to do family history and you're not sure where to go next, this could be something you could do. Just kind of clean up your person pages and make them all nice and clean. I want to share with you that sometimes you have a name, maybe Baby Phillips. It's a surname Phillips, but you don't have the child's first name. Or your ancestor's name is often misspelled. You can go to search directly from your home screen and search records. And you can actually put in, for example, the surname only and leave out the first name. Put in a birthplace and a range. Leave about 2 years above, 2 years below. See what you get. Here's the location down here. Another thing that's interesting to know, say your last name is Namath, but it's constantly misspelled. Sometimes people put N-E-M or N-O-M or N-I-M. I'll show you what's the wildcard feature. It's the asterisk. Right here. So if you want to search with an asterisk, and it's not just from this search page, it's also from the person page search page, you can use this asterisk as a wildcard, and it will search for any letter in that space and come up with it. So I wanted to also let you know that you don't just search records. You can search images also. Think of the old days where you had to order microfilm or microfiche, and you had to look through all of the rolls and look at all of the text and try to find your ancestor's name. Well, not every document is indexed, and you may have to search through the images themselves. I'm going to show you a little video that deals with that and it'll help you understand it even more.
I'm asked often about the lesser known or less discoverable features in our search system. The biggest one that we have isn't really a search feature. It actually is in the data. Many people know that FamilySearch has billions of records available. They delight in putting in the name of an ancestor and getting back documents from that ancestor's life. It's like we opened a little window and shined a spotlight on the ancestor's life, and it warms their heart. Those billions of indexed records that are searchable only represent about 30% of the data at FamilySearch.org. The other 70% of the documents that are on our website and that are about their ancestors aren't searchable, but we've made it available in multiple ways around the website. If you go to the main historical records search page, go to the map, go down below the search form and look for the lists of images, click one and you can browse through the images that way, or go to the all published collections, find a collection that you're interested in, the browse images one, and again, you'll have access to drill down into the images that way. Don't be afraid of it. It is a little more work because it's not searchable, but those are two different ways to get to those images.
Okay, so don't be scared of searching for your ancestors in a little more time-consuming way, but remember the microfilm and the microfiche, and that's all available to you. I saw that FamilySearch has produced a little tutorial on how to use that search, and it's via YouTube. So if anybody is going to be searching the images and wants a little help in how to do it, contact me.